This is something that I see holding a lot of people back, a lot of people, and that's underpricing. You're an expert at what you do. You need to charge for the outcome that you help your clients with, okay? So that outcome is where the money is. You need to charge for the outcome, not by the hour. Do yourself a favor. Get really clear on your message. Get really clear on your offer so you hit the pain point, and then understand what people would pay, like the value of that outcome, and then price accordingly.
If you have the expertise from being in business for how many years and all the things that you've learned, and you know you can help someone, then why would you charge less?
Welcome to today's episode of Business Growth Lab. I'm your co-host for today, Samantha Riley, alongside my partner in business and crime, Leon Flitton. Leon, big week again, but here we are.
I like the way you always say crime. Like,
I actually, every time I say, because my sister and I used to say that all the time, like, this is my partner in crime, and that meant the best friend, right? And I guess because I've been saying it my whole life, it just rolls off the tongue. Yet every time it comes out, I think, I wonder what people think we get up to. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
My partner in business and life, which has no crime and lots of fun and adventure, Leon Flitton. Is that better?
Yeah, that works. That works.
So I'm really excited to dive into this topic with you today, Leon, because if you're listening and you're stuck below $30,000 a month, it's not because you're not a good coach. And this is what what we really want you to understand. But you do need to know that your coaching skills alone won't get you to the next level. We see this all the time, right? So many talented coaches stay capped at this, like, I'm going to call it the 10K ceiling. I don't know what it is about this 10K ceiling, but so many people get stuck here. But it's because they're trapped in hidden patterns, whether it's their... Actually, I'm not even going to talk about what it is, because we're going to chat about what these things are. So we've come up with 10 things today that we're going to talk about. Well, we'll see how far we get. We'll see if we get to 10 today or if we're going to turn this into 2 episodes. But we're going to talk about how to learn to spot these traps and how to break them. Because when you can shift these, you'll make more income, you'll have more freedom, you'll get your time back, and your business will finally feel not only profitable, but it'll feel aligned and it will feel fun, because there is nothing like making sales that makes you excited, right?
Absolutely. Hey, and I just want to say, just before we kick into this, because I'm really keen to get this as well, but something fun. I've just realized, so anyone that's got the video on is going to be able to see this. My mug, all right, it's got Christmas.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know there's still I think there's still 40 days to go. I think I'm peaking too soon. But anyway.
No. From the Christmas girly, you cannot peak too soon. You can't. It's the middle of November. Adelaide's had the Christmas pageant, which means it's officially Christmas season because Santa has already come to town.
So everyone get your trees up. Let's go.
Absolutely. Let's go. Let's do this. Yeah, let's talk about these 10 income limiting traps that online coaches face that really keeps them trapped under, let's say, 30K months. But really 30K months is just the next level, because it's 30K months, 40K, 50K, 83K. Hit those $1 million years.
Yeah. I feel like there's that, like I said before, there's like an imaginary wall there as well. Like it's to get to 10 and then to get to 30, like there's just something about it. There shouldn't be any difference. Like it's
actually, no, there is. And let me tell you what that is what got you here won't get you there. When you are starting out, there's a certain type of block that gets in your way. Once you've got through that block and it becomes normal, the next block will present. So it actually does change, because the blocks that get in your way become easier over time. They're not blocks anymore, right? It's like I was telling this story on our visibility intensive the other day. When I very first started personal training, and I was in my mid 30s, and I started at the gym. I'd never been to a gym before. So even though I was exceptionally fit because I was a dancer and I was doing like over 40 hours a week of dancing in the studio, I'd never ever been into a gym and lifted weights. So I was cardio fit, I was flexible, but I'll never forget my first personal training session. I'll tell you, my first personal trainer was called Adam. We didn't stay together very long. But anyway, Adam handed me 3-kilo dumbbells to do a chest press. And my arms flopped out like I was a rag doll, and I was mortified. I couldn't chest press 3-kilo dumbbells. Anyway, so I was like, just give me a couple of milk cartons. Let's start there. We made a bit of a joke of that. Anyway, let's move on a couple of years. My personal trainer at that time was Spee. I trained with Spee for years and years, and he was the reason I went into personal training myself. I loved him. I loved working with him. He gave me so much confidence. And I remember saying to him, probably a couple of years in, I can't believe that I'm no different to the day I started. And he's like, what do you mean? I'm like, I still struggle to chest press this. And he's like, Sam, you struggled to chest press 3 kilos. Has it not occurred to you that now you're like chest pressing like, a 20-kilo bar and some weight on it? My brain had not actually figured out that I was lifting more weight. In my head, I was just like, it's still hard. And I think that that's what we need to think about, like in business, that things get easier as you go. But if you're always pushing, if you're always growing, if you're always going to the next level, there's always going to be something new. There's always going to be something that's hard. And that's just business. And I actually think it's the beauty of business because we're always growing, we're always learning.
Yeah. I totally agree. And Spee, if you're out there, you get talked about a lot. Anyway.
All these years later, he was a cool trainer. I love training with Spee.
I'm sure he's still at that training as of now. So good work, Spee.
He is. He's still in the industry, which is very rare.
So one of the things that I keep hearing at the moment as well, just before we get into our 10, is that it's tough out there. Cost of living, all these other things. It's hard in the coaching industry, whatever else.
Yep. Buying patterns have changed.
But it's still growing. Yeah. So it's still growing. So I think I know, I don't really want to call it. I still see data, and I'm not going to quote the data, but I still see that it's growing and it's expected to be so many billions of dollars in the future and all that kind of thing. It's still growing. So I think just believing that it's tough out there is probably not an excuse to be growing. So
yeah, it's a very limiting belief to think it's tough out there and I can't make it. Yes, it is tough out there. Let's not gloss over that and let's not gaslight the people that it is tough out there. However, and this is what we really need to tap into, there are some people that are succeeding at mega levels. And what I think we're seeing is this gap between the average coaches and the really good coaches, and the gap is widening. So the economy right now, the market, let's say, is not favoring average coaches who are sitting back waiting for everything to fall in their lap. It is favoring the coaches that are constantly upgrading, that are constantly growing, that are constantly marketing, that are constantly keeping up with the times, with technology. And there are some people out there making some big dollars. And that's available to every single person that is willing to continually upgrade their knowledge, their skills, their marketing.
Yeah. I think something that you said so more succinctly than I said was the opportunity is there. It's definitely there. Like the opportunity to do well is definitely there. So one of the things I think about is like 2008 GFC. So many millionaires were made in that time, even though it was supposed to be the global financial crisis, whatever else.
Well, it was the global financial crisis, right? But you're 100% right.
Yeah.
More millionaires are made in hard times than in easy times. Did you know that? Because what happens is it makes people think outside the box. It makes people do things differently. It makes people double down. I opened my very first business, this is years before I met you. I opened my first business in a financial crisis. It was in Australia when the interest rates were at 18 point something percent. And we opened a retail store in a mortgage bill, where there was two parents working that put every single cent into the mortgage and sending their children to a good private school because they didn't want their kids to work, as hard as they did. There was not much left. And we were in an industry that was, it's the leftovers. We were in the dance industry, right? And that's one of the things that people pull when times are tough. We used that time to learn so much. We distilled everything we were doing. The systems that we put in place, our pricing, everything was dialed in to the max, and it was tough. Let me tell you, those first few years, I remember the very first Christmas, actually, my parents gave us a food basket to feed our children over the Christmas holidays. We were doing it super tough. But
crazy times, eh?
It was insanely hard. We questioned ourselves every day. However, coming off the back of that, we grew really fast. We went to 7 figures really, really quickly coming out of the back of that because everything was so dialed in. Once the money started flowing, it all flowed into the business.
Yep, nice. Yeah, and I think I can feel some bonus ones coming up here after our 10, but I think we need to, let's hook into it. So the first one that we've got is vague messaging.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of liken this to trying to explain what you do in one sentence. I'll start with that anyway. And I think if you struggle to do that, you can't kind of do the rest of it. So, but what's your thoughts on messaging? What do you see people aren't doing? Where they're kind of going wrong with their messaging?
Having vague messaging or unclear messaging is the number one thing that holds coaches back. That's why we're talking about it first. When we ran Profitable Coach Summit back in 2024, this was over 50% of the people that were on the summit. By the end of it, they just went, our messaging isn't good. Maybe people go to your website and go, I don't get what you do. Or your landing page isn't clear. I don't understand what I'm getting. I don't understand who you are. Maybe people don't understand who you're speaking to. I have been guilty of this myself. And this has been a massive journey for me that I didn't struggle with in traditional business in the same way. Online just puts a whole new depth of complexity to this. People need to be able to go to your landing page, to your social media, and they need to understand straight up, are you speaking to me and do you have something that I want? Does it make sense? Do you really and truly understand what's going on in your ideal client's mind? What's keeping them up at night? What are they thinking about at 2 a.m.? Can you speak to those things? You want your potential prospects to be thinking, and people have said this to me, are you looking in my windows? How did you know that about me?
I love that.
Yeah, this is what needs to happen. And this is not something that is quick and easy to do. And I think this is where most people trip up. They think that, I'll spend 10 minutes on this and then I'll move on. No, this is an in-depth process and it's a journey.
Yeah.
It's not something that happens in 10 minutes. And even when you think you're clear, just keep distilling, keep distilling, keep distilling. Keep putting the message out there and getting the data back from your market. And that is a really, really important part of messaging, is that people will kind of sit back and try and work through it. But you have to speak it out to kind of get that feedback. So it's a constant evolution.
Yeah. Now, I know we've done, and still do, in-person workshops with this, but one of the things I love about the in-person workshops is when you go, write down 10 things that are 2 a.m. problems, for example, and they get the first 3 okay, maybe up to 5, and when you have to push people to get the last ones out, that's when the gold comes out. So just there's a bit of a side note to that. Yeah, you can't just do it. Can't just go, oh yeah, here's 3 things and done. It just doesn't kind of work that way. You really need to push to get what they're really the real pain points are. And I think you got to push to get it. So it's not just a quick thing to do.
Totally. Yeah, because those first 3, they're usually shallow.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's like when you get to the point, and I know exactly the workshops that you've seen me do, and you sit there and have a giggle at me because people go, I can't think of any more. And I go, do not put your pen down. Keep going, because we haven't got there yet.
So what about congruence with the messaging? Because I think you mentioned a bit before. I think that's important to note as well about the vague messaging and congruence. And from what I see, is across platforms. So whether it's your website, your podcast, your social media.
Yeah, making sure that if you go to every single place you are online, on your Instagram, on your YouTube, on your Facebook, on your website, wherever you are, is that message exactly the same? I mean, I understand that there's different characters, so they're going to be different lengths normally. That's not what I'm talking about. But is it the exact same thing so that someone would be able to repeat it back to you? Because I feel like people get bored with their own message and they try and be a little bit artistic and creative to spice up their life because it's a bit boring. But you've got to repeat your messaging so often that you're almost saying it in your sleep, because not everyone sees your content all the time. Not everyone, like only 1% of people see your social media content. So there's another 99% of people that aren't seeing your messaging all the time. So that message needs to be repeated over and over and over and over. And I know that this has happened to me before. You start to think that you're repeating yourself, and you start to feel a bit weird and silly. But you have to repeat yourself over and over and over and over and over again forever, so that people truly understand what it is that you do.
It may sound really boring to you because you're saying the same thing, but I just think about this. If you've got 5,000 friends on Facebook, do you actually see like all 5,000 friends every time you click on a Facebook? Like you just don't.
Totally.
So, and yeah, I think that's the main thing.
Yeah. So there's one thing that just dropped in that I want to mention here. A few years ago, there was this messaging, a whole heap of people teaching messaging, like you say, this is what I do, but you don't make it super clear so that people go, oh, tell me more. Don't do it. Don't do that. I don't know who came up with that, but people like me with D type personalities or A type personalities, we're not going to go, oh, tell me more. We're going to go, oh, and move on. Like, we just don't have time for that.
So I was going to say, you just move on.
Like, don't try and be cute. Be clear.
Point number 2 is a lack of a compelling offer.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, I feel there's probably quite a complex discussion around this that could be had.
Absolutely.
But what are you seeing out there that you might find is not a compelling offer or in that realm?
One of the things that I see is a lot of people, especially in mindset and health and wellness, that are selling the vitamin, not the pill. And let me explain. If you've got a migraine, you want a Tylenol or a Nurofen. You don't want the magnesium, even though the vitamin is going to help us not get the migraine in the first place. We need to get rid of the migraine first before we can sell the vitamin. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
And so many people are selling the vitamin version of their offer. If you want to make sales today and you want people to actually be like, I have to have this, you have to sell the pill. And this goes back to understanding what it is that keeps your ideal client up at 2 a.m. You need to understand what's going on. And even if the majority of your program is selling the vitamin, you need to give them the pill to start with.
Totally. Yeah, I feel like it's, what is it? I'm going to butcher this again. I keep butchering this one.
Oh, go on, I'm ready.
I think it's sell them what they want, but give them what they need as well. So
you didn't butcher it. You got it right.
Hey, I got it.
Yay, well done. If I had an applause button that worked, I would applause you, but I don't have an applause button that works.
Oh dear. Well, on that note, I think we should move on.
Oh, well, no, I was going to say, do people actually want what you're selling? Because I think the other thing I see is people falling in love with their offers. They marry their offers. They put so much time and energy and love into their offers that they feel like I've invested so much, I can't turn back now.
Yeah.
Or I can't pull back, I can't change it. It's like they've invested all of this stuff in that they think that I need a return on that investment, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I know your offer's the bee's knees. I get it. But you need to get that data back and you need to take not the emotion out of it so you're not passionate about it, or not the emotion out of it so, you're not fully giving as a coach, but the emotion out of it in, is this what they actually want? Is this what they actually need? And how do I spin this? Because my guess is that the reason you've got this offer is because it probably helped you at some stage, or you saw it help someone in your world.
Yeah.
But the spin on it might not be quite right. The offer may not be compelling.
Yeah. What about you're not your client as well?
Totally.
So, yeah, if you're in the same field, but exactly what you want is not exactly what the client's after. Does that make sense?
Totally, totally. And you need to know that different clients are going to have different motivators.
Yeah.
So let me give you an example of this. I've just done a 10-year perimenopause journey. And there's a lot of health coaches saying, oh, no, ideal clients in perimenopause, it's not about losing the weight. For a lot of them, it might not be. For me, it was the number one thing I wanted fixed because I put on a lot of weight really quickly. So you need to be able to see it through the eyes of your clients and not through your eyes.
Yeah, yeah. I think that's actually a classic one because essentially most of the ladies will go, don't want to look like this. I want to lose weight. I want to be like what I used to look like.
Yeah.
And they won't be thinking about all the other things that go on in the background that cause this. They go, I just want to lose weight. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah. Totally.
I mean, there was lots at play, and I did work with someone, and we worked through all sorts of things. I'm not saying that we don't work through all those things. It's just about understanding the motivators.
Absolutely.
And going for the pill. I wanted the pill, not the vitamin. Even though I take lots of vitamins.
Give me the pill.
No. Give me the pill. Let's move on to number 3, because this is something that I see holding a lot of people back, a lot of people, and that's underpricing. The people that are in our world are true experts. And that's why I got into coaching the people that I do, because 15 years ago when I started coaching, I knew that I was really good at what I did, but I wasn't that good at online marketing. And that's where I see so many people getting let down now. There's these true experts that are not good at marketing up against some people who are not real experts that are really good at marketing. And we all know them, right? So
yeah, I'm so glad you brought this up.
That's why I do what I do. So I know that you're an expert if you're listening. I want you to really listen to this, because you're an expert at what you do. You need to charge for the outcome that you help your clients with. Okay? So that outcome is where the money is. Like, think about it from this perspective. If you're a business coach and you charge, $15,000, but someone will make, $100,000 from working with you, then you'll pay that every day of the week, right? So you need to charge for the outcome, not by the hour. Was that clear?
Yeah, totally. Yeah. I mean, if I look at it that way, someone's coaching and their expertise and their IP and all those things, if they charge $15,000 and someone else is going to make $100K, why would you be selling $100 an hour and working for the hour?
100%.
That's not representative
100%.
of what you can do.
The corporate world has taught us to charge by the hour, and we're not part of corporate world, so we don't charge by the hour. We charge for the outcome. The other thing that I see is charging well under market value. And this is, again, people that are real experts at what they do, but maybe a little bit newer in business and like, oh, I'll just charge, $97 for this offer that you could be charging, $10,000, $15,000 for, with the thought, I'll just sell more of them. Let me tell you about the $97 offer because I've got a story. I've always got a story, right? I did
I love
this.
your story.
I was like, you know what? I'm going to charge $97 a month for this offer. And I wanted $1 million business. I'm like, that's okay. All I need is, how many clients? I haven't written down. How many clients? $100 offer, $1 million, lots of them. So if my revenue goal was $1 million, I needed $83,333 a month, right? Which means that I need 859 sales. Now, if I had a 50% close rate, that means that I need to get those sales 1,718 calls booked per month. And to get those 1,718 calls booked, if I had a 25% call booking rate, I would need 6,872 leads per month. Now, if 25% of my visibility became leads, I would need 27,488 people to see me. Like, the numbers don't stack up, right?
No,
you're not going to be yes, there are people that make $1 million on a low ticket offer, but it's the exception. It's not the rule. And the people that are making those kind of numbers on low ticket offers are working their butts off. They are working their butts off.
Yeah, I was about to say that. You've really got to work hard to get those sales done, to get that much revenue.
Totally.
To hit those targets. Real hard.
Do yourself a favor. Get really clear on your message. Get really clear on your offer so you hit the pain point, and then understand what people would pay, like the value of that outcome, and then price accordingly.
Yeah.
Then you're not underpricing. So then you can really, make the money that you want to make. And also, your self-worth isn't tied to the amount you can charge. You can still feel a little bit shit about yourself and still charge a lot of money. Like, you can still do personal development in the background and still charge more money. Like, your self-worth and the amount you charge are not correlated at all.
Yeah. I love that. Because your skill set is not really attached to your self-worth, like you're saying. So, but if you have the expertise from being in business for how many years and all the things that you've learned, and you can help someone, then why would you charge less for what you can help them achieve? Like, it just doesn't make sense. So keep those separated.
Absolutely.
All right. Next point number 4. So having a model that's not scalable. So this is, I think, quite an interesting one. So
this is very interesting.
I think this would be one of the ones that really caps out, how much income you can actually make per month, per year.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but it's got a hard stop on it. So if this caps out in the wrong model.
Well, I mean, if you've got 4 clients that you do one-on-one with, but they pay you $250,000 a year each, great.
Yeah, fair call.
But if you don't have a niche or the kind of ideal client where you can charge those kinds of numbers, then you really need to move to some sort of group model, because you are going to cap out at one-on-ones really quickly. Not only that, you're going to cap out in multiple ways, right? You're going to cap out because your income's tapped. You're going to cap out, even this to me is even worse for someone that loves energy. Imagine doing one-on-ones all day, every day. Like, how exhausting does that sound?
Oh, you'd be shattered, wouldn't you?
Yeah, well, you know how tired I get from coaching, because I just absolutely go all in. So I have it's like there's so much energy is coming through and the brain's working so fast that I love one-on-ones, don't get me wrong. And I still do one-on-one coaching, but it gets me extremely tired. Like, I couldn't do it all day, every day. Like, I just physically could not do that.
Yeah. I've got another point here too that I've been thinking about with the, one-on-one coaching and having it capped out. Where do you do your marketing? Is that after those many hours?
Right. Yeah. And your sales, when does that happen? Exactly. When do you work on your business? So I think back, my very first business was a dance studio, and I ran dance classes, right? that had, anywhere from like 3 for my smallest class to 20 something for my largest classes. And that was the majority of my time. And then I would give private lessons or one-on-one coaching to students that paid a premium to do one-on-one with me. And they were only eligible to do one-on-one if they came to all their group classes. And it wasn't just one group class. Like, you had to do a certain number of group classes to even qualify to do one-on-one, because that's where they got all of their technique. That's where they learnt the foundational work, and then they would work on their choreography, their competition work, or their exam work, as we got closer to exams in a one-on-one situation. There's no other way I could have done it. And this is exactly how I run my coaching program today, exactly the same way. All the foundational work, all of the group coaching, all of the foundations that you need to know all gets done in a group situation, not just because it's more leverage, but also because you learn more in a group coaching environment, because you hear the questions that other people ask. You're on a journey with those other people doing the same thing, going on the same, it might be an emotional journey or a physical journey. There's something that bonds you together as a group. So I love group and always have. And then in that one-on-one, that's just for the nuance for whoever that person is. It's not the entire model.
So just with that, I think that's a really good point, because with group coaching, one of the things that you're saying about having the community around you as well, I kind of like, well, it's almost like a mastermind, isn't it? I think you learn so much more.
It is.
There's always the questions that you go, someone asks a question, you go, oh, actually, that's a good point. I was wondering that, So sometimes people ask questions that you thought of but hadn't asked yet and things like that, or you hadn't thought of and hadn't asked yet. So I think that's actually a really good place to be.
Yeah, see, I'm always the second one. Someone asks a question and I'm like, oh, I didn't even think of that. And that could be the shift that you need that unlocks, your next move that you may have been stuck in or challenged by or being held up by, because you don't know what you don't know. So in a group environment, like, things drop in and you're just like, oh my God, that's the thing. That's the thing I needed to hear. I didn't even think about that. So I love to be a coach of a group coaching program, and I love to be a client in a group coaching program. And well, as you know, because we're in group coaching programs together, we're in multiple group coaching programs, and I have been for over 15 years, worked with in group coaching programs as a client.
Yeah. I think they're super beneficial. I think there's a place for both of them. Definitely a place for one-on-one and group. And I think anyone that was discounting the value of a group would be crazy, though, because of that, the community and that masterminding and all those bits that come with it. So, I think thinking it's not as valuable will be a crazy thought to have.
I want actually to offer something else here too, and that's to run a group coaching program. You need a really different set of skills to someone that's doing one-on-one, because running one-on-one clients or sessions is actually a lot easier than running a group coaching program. You don't necessarily need a framework. You can wait to hear, what's your challenge today? And you just work with what you're given. Where in a group coaching program, you do need to be a little bit ahead of where your clients are at, and you need to have frameworks that other people can follow, which you don't necessarily need in one-on-one. I'm not saying that every one-on-one coach doesn't have frameworks. That's not what I'm saying. But it is easier and less preparation time for a one-on-one coaching session than group coaching. So definitely, I think that all coaches should have a group program, actually, for helping their client, not just for themselves, but for helping their clients as well, because it's like you're introducing them to a new community, their new community of supporters. But also, I believe it upgrades your skills as a coach to be able to put your frameworks, your models, your systems together to be able to provide and take clients through a group coaching program.
Something else I want to add just quickly as well, a little bit off topic, but it's still about group coaching, is I think if you're measuring the amount of impact you can have on how many people's lives, et cetera, can be huge with group coaching. And I think I like to tell people, so if you can help more people, it's kind of magnifies it from that point of view. And I really think it's something really cool about group coaching.
Totally. And for anyone that's listening, Leon's profile in human design is a 5-2. He really, really, really loves helping people.
I just want everyone to win. Let's all win.
Yeah, that's all. Everyone win. That's all. That's what I love about you. You really do care so deeply about everyone, and you will do whatever it takes to help people win. And that's, I'm very, very grateful that we have you in our coaching program and that you can look after our clients.
Well, thanks, babe. I appreciate it.
It's okay. Sharing the love.
Well, we should kick on to number 5 then.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Can I kick this one off?
Take it away.
All right. So what do we hear the number one challenge of everyone that comes into our world? I want more leads. The leads isn't the problem. It's not having a lead generation system. And I am just like system till I'm just blue in the face. To be able to run a business that is profitable, you need to have systems in place. And what I mean by system is something that repeats itself over and over and is repeatable and also predictable. It needs to be predictable and it needs to be repeatable. That's what a system is. It's something that delivers consistent results. And if you don't have a system in your business for your marketing so that you can turn the conveyor belt on and leads pop off, then this is like one of the things that you need to work on. Like definitely you need your messaging right and you need your offer right and all the things that we've spoken about. But layered into this, you need to have a lead generation system.
Yeah. And that's something you absolutely need to make it scalable. But I just think about what you said before, and it's, when you're coaching and you go, so what was the process that you used for your lead generation? And you get awkward silence, like, well, I answered that.
And that's okay if that's where you're at. We're throwing no shade. All we want to do is like lift up the rug, because you're probably hidden a bit of I don't have leads under the rug. And we're going to shine a little bit of a spotlight in there and say, it's okay. Come out. The light's on. We'd love to help you. It's okay. I'm going to wrap you up in a little bunny rug.
We're here
wrap
to
you
help.
up in a little rug. And then we're going to get to work building a lead generation system.
Yeah.
You can tell that I'm really passionate about this bit, can't you?
Yeah. And look, and like you said, like it's recognizing what's missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's important. And some things are what they are. And I think if you remove the emotion from it and go, okay, well, the system's just missing or it doesn't work or whatever's happened in the particular case. All right, well, let's just get a system in place and go again.
Yeah, totally. And I know that you and I have said this a couple of times this episode, take the emotion out of it. And I just want to really clarify what we mean by this. I know that you got into coaching because you really care about people. Coaches are the most heart-centered people on the face of the earth, right? We're not saying take the emotion out of everything. We're saying just take it out of building your business and use the data so you've got more emotion left for the actual coaching part and for your clients. That's what I'm saying. So we're not saying like, be a cold, hard robot and, run your business like that. That's not at all what we're saying. We're saying get these systems in place, get the feedback from the data so you've got more energy and excitement and love and passion for doing the work that you absolutely love doing.
Yeah. Now, I know point 4 we just talked about with the having a model, it's not scalable. When I mentioned, where to do your marketing and stuff like that. And I think, the better that the system is, the more time you can have for the connecting and doing the things and the coaching that you love and want to do as well. So I think that's actually a really good point. And, and if you're like us, and I know, Sam, you're all the same as me and you absolutely care about all of your clients and the people.
A lot.
And you just, well, I think, what did you say? Put them all on the cruise ship together? Everyone get on the super yacht and let's all go together.
Yes. Can we talk about this? Because I think that there's too many coaches out there that are marketing. This is how much money I earn. I'm like, I care how much money you earn. Tell me how your clients are going. Like, I want all of my, I don't want to be on a cruise ship or on a, let's talk a super yacht. I've always had this dream of being on a super yacht and canapes and cocktails and mocktails at sunset. And I say mocktails as well because I'll be drinking the cocktails, but there's quite a few of our clients that would be drinking mocktails. I want us all to be together celebrating each other. I don't want to be there on my own because my business is successful. I want us all to be there because all of our businesses are successful. I don't want to be celebrating because of my clients. I want to be celebrating with my clients. And this has been my motto since day one. It's been on my website since the very first day my website was launched.
Yeah.
And yes, you're right. I will die on that hill. And I think that the industry and where the gap is widening is that's where coaches need to be. We need to be there celebrating with our clients, not because of our clients. Like, I think that the coaches that are out there, you know, making millions of dollars that don't have any conversation or connection with their clients, that, you know, the second a client signs up, they're like a ghost and they're off and they're charging mega bucks because they're off sitting on the beach. Like, man, those days should be over. It's abhorrent. Oh, wow. Don't get me started. I'm so passionate about this. Like, it's our duty as coaches to be there to support and guide our clients.
Yeah. Yeah. Can I just say as well, is that I think that attracts the right people that we want to work with.
Oh, how awesome are our clients?
Yeah. Look, two of them have been on TV in the last, however long it was, the last couple of months, I think it has been. And, you know, the rest of the peeps in the program are so pumped for those guys to be on TV. Yeah. You know, like, you know, high five and shouting and cheering kind of stuff, you know, like they're so pumped for it.
We're all there for each other. Yep.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah. So, and I just think it's awesome.
Totally. Yeah. We have got off track. Cool. Let's go back to building audience. We have. There's 3 ways that you can grow an audience. You can build an audience. This is your organic. You can borrow audience, which is like partnerships, and you can buy your audience. And I think that so many people stuck at 10K months get caught in 1 or 2 areas and they never get across the 3rd area. We need to make sure that to have this marketing system, this engine that delivers clients, we need to be across all 3. So building your audience, this is your social media, it's your organic, and it's your email list. If you're not making offers to your email list every single week, then you're missing the boat. You're missing our super yacht. You need to be making offers to your list. You need to be emailing that list every single week. So that's your building your audience. Then you're borrowing your audience. What sort of collaboration or partnership process have you got in place? This needs to be, again, it needs to be a process. Who are your partners that you're working with? Like, you need to have something in your calendar so that, you know, once a month you're working with someone to borrow that audience, and also that happens in return as well, that you're supporting them to borrow their audience. So this is things like lead magnets, swaps, shouting out each other on social media. It could be podcast guest swaps, could be affiliate launches, all these kinds of things. This is borrowing other people's audiences or borrowing trust or being referred to, this kind of thing. And then we've got buy. And this is your paid ads, it's your meta ads or your Google or your YouTube ads or sponsorships or TV commercials or whatever it is. And I find that out of all 3 of those, it's that last one that people are either missing or not doing well. In actual fact, most people stuck at 10K months are scared of buying audiences. And you really need to be across all 3. And just like the first day that you walked, or just like your first day at school, or just like the first day that you started to learn geometry, or what's that horrible algebra?
I was going to say algebra. That's the one.
I couldn't even remember the name because I hated it so bad. There's a first day where it doesn't make sense and you can't do it, but apart from algebra, you do get better at it. Can tell I'm not the engineer in the family. That's my son. You do get better at it. And understanding how to build, how to borrow, and how to buy your audiences are all learned skills.
Yeah.
And if you're not sure how to do it, find someone that can help, like us.
Totally.
Yeah.
So apart from pushing the trauma of algebra out of your head, one of the other things, that's why you couldn't remember the word, just with doing swaps and shares and that kind of thing as well, I think it's really important that, and this is what I've noticed from people, is there's one thing that puts you off doing that is when you do a swap with someone and they don't put any effort into it.
Yeah. Oh my God, that can be a whole episode on itself.
Right. So if you're going to borrow someone's audience, you need to show up properly. Yeah, well, maybe it will be.
I was going to say, you know what? Actually, let's do that as a separate topic because that's a whole nother that on its own. That's huge. But definitely, let's dive into that more because I love collaborations. I think I've built multiple 6 and 7 figure businesses on collaborations. I think they're a brilliant way to grow, but it's a beast.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. You know what, Leon? We have been chatting for quite a while. I think we are not going to get through 10 in this episode. I think let's call it a day and dive into the second 5 tips on next week's episode. What do you think?
Sounds like a plan. Let's do it.
Totally. If you've listened to this episode and you're thinking, oh my goodness, I am leaking opportunity, or I've got some of these things under the rug and I need someone to shine that spotlight on them because you're stuck around that 10K months. And, you know, if you're ready to really finally put that behind you and move into those 30, 40, 50K months and above, then we would love you to reach out. Go to Instagram right now and either DM Leon or myself. Our handles are below wherever you're listening, and DM the word scale. You can DM us an actual conversation if you like. But if you're a little bit like me and you're a D-type personality and you couldn't be bothered writing a whole heap of words, just type the word scale and let's book you in for a no obligation scale session so that we can actually go through these steps with you, shine a light into what your next steps are to help get you to those 30K months as a starting point. Because here's what I want you to know. Every single month that you wait is another 10K that you don't get. So don't let that hold you back. It's compounding, all right? So the longer you wait, the more money is going to be leaking forever. So yeah, head over to Instagram, either send me a really cool message and reach out and say hi, or DM the word scale and let's chat. Let's book you in for a scales session and help you with a little bit of a spotlight. Leon, it's been a pleasure to chat with you today. I've had lots of fun in this episode. I can't wait till next week.
I've been loving the stories. They're brilliant.
Oh, man. Yeah, I've got a lot of stories.
Are you holding back? You're holding back, aren't you?
I am holding back. I could story tell forever. What do we say? Wow. I could talk about business underwater with marbles in my mouth for 3 days without taking a breath.
Yeah, that's about right.
So thank you for listening to me with marbles in my mouth for the last, I don't know how long. So looking forward to next week's episode where we will cover the second 5 income limiting traps that are keeping you trapped. Thanks for listening and we'll catch you next week. Ciao.